Morning. Mary here with I Song Grows, bringing you Farmer Friday. A little about what's been going on around here this week. Yeah, I still got my headlamp. I guess I don't need it now. Morning, Bambi. Should we tell them about our week, huh? We're working on getting a pen fixed up for Bentley so he can come home from my friend's house. We went to the county fair and watched the kids show their goats. I know several of the 4-H and FFA kids that are showing goats and stuff. I couldn't stay for all of it because I had to come home, feed, water, and milk. But I got to see the dairy goat classes, and that was fun. And to see some of the other dairy goats in our area. There aren't very many of them, not nearly as many as there are meat goats, but there's some. And what else happened, huh? What else happened, Bambi? Let's see. I'm still cleaning a batch of tallow. We did finally get some rain, and as much as I wanted the rain, it's made a big, huge mess with all the runoff because it all came at once. But at least our dry spell is broke for a little bit. Yes. What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? You're so funny. You don't like the camera? Okay. So yeah, let's see what all we did this week. Well, guys, we hit the dew point this morning. That's different. Wow. I'll set up at the Globe Miami Farmers Market this morning with our goat milk shampoo bars, our goat milk soap. We have goat tallow skin balm, perfect for your dry, cracked skin. A nice selection of goat milk lotion, goat milk sugar scrubs, some homegrown eggs, and some plant starts for your fall garden. We're here in the train park until 11 o'clock. Come on down. The youngest birds that I hatched this year, the 3 big white ones, are 3 true breeding olive eggers. Unfortunately, they are all boys. Was a lousy hatching season. The black ones, I haven't double checked the toe punches, but I think that they are all out of cream leg bar hens and my true breeding olive egger boy. For sure, this one here in the front and that one there in the back are for sure leg bars hens, because check out those crests. The other girl could be out of one of my olive eggs. I'll have to check her toe punches. And then we do have a boy in the back there, pretty sure. Yeah, hi boys. Yeah, hi boys. I plan to move these guys up to the big kennels by the ducks after we thin the ducks down, which will be a bit because it's still too hot to do that kind of work. The girls out front, the Isa Browns, the Sapphire Olive Eggers, the Black Copper Morans that are out in the pen in the front yard, those will go into either the breeding pens or the big layer house after we thin out in there. So a little while longer that I'll have these extra pens set up to be, that I have to feed and water and take care of. Yeah, what are you guys doing? Huh? Yeah? Oh no, we got extra junk in here we could probably come in and pick up and clean out. Yeah. What do you think? Hey, chicks. I will keep back 1 or 2 of these white olive egger boys because their sire is like 6 years old. So I don't know how much longer he'll be around. I don't know how much longer he'll be fertile. So we will keep back 1 or 2 of these guys just in case. Yeah. I just don't know which ones yet. Haven't made up my mind. But I haven't looked at them hard yet either. That will involve picking them up, checking to see how many fingers I can put from the end of their keel bone, that's their breastbone, and their pelvis, because that will tell me how much capacity they have for their organs. We'll also see how many fingers we can fit between their 2 pelvic bones, because while boys don't lay eggs, they will pass that distance on to their daughters, and we want the widest space possible there so that we don't have any issues laying nice big eggs. We'll also be looking at how much do they weigh. I am aiming for a pretty dual purpose bird where we have nice cockerels growing out and decent egg layers of really nice pretty colored eggs. So those are the things I'm going to be looking at to pick out breeders for next year. In the little back garden, just out here trying to clean up some of this mess. I added some bagged soil to these first 2 beds. I didn't buy it. I don't buy that stuff, but it was given to me. And the one labeled topsoil really looks like garbage. It's like full of rocks and chunks of wood and stuff. The other one was labeled garden soil, and it was more like composted wood and peat moss, and that looked a lot better. So we'll see what happens. Afternoon because I did chores and washed dishes and all those things, did a couple errands, and I've just been a little bit lazy. Just kind of piddled around. I did some work out in the garden space this morning, and I really should be out there doing more, but the sun started to get a little too hot. I mean, I don't think we're hitting 100 today, but probably about 90, maybe a little warmer. It was just too much on my arms, even covered up. So I just messed around in the house, and now I am making my soil blocks. I have videos on this in the seed starting playlist, and because I've got tons and tons of seeds I would really like to get started. especially the slower growing herb seeds like lavender, sage, thyme, oregano, because I'd like to have some nice size plants to put out next spring and to have for sale next spring. So that's what I'm doing. Good boy. I wasn't sure I could manage that. That's a little Alu Shield, which is a wound spray on that place he biggered up on his nose, because he's made it worse today, and the flies were getting it. So now you got a shiny silver dollar on your nose. Look at you. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, was it? That wasn't too bad. He will not let me put that swat, which is a cream that repels flies, and it is made purposely to put around wounds. You don't put it on the wound, but you put it around them to keep the flies out of it. Almost got bit one day trying to put that on, so we don't even go there. But the Alu Shield's in a little spray can, and I think maybe he'll let me do it again if I need to tomorrow. We'll see. What? Huh? What? It's just the cat. It's just the cat. Yes, it's just the cat. You got something to say? Huh? You got something to say? You want to say something? Huh? Oh, Bambi. What? Huh? You're so funny. Yes, you are. You're so funny. Digger does not like it when the deer come through. You see it? It's right there. He does not like it when they come through the canyon. Digger, leave it. That's enough. It's just a deer. Digger, no, leave it. Leave it. Good morning. It's Tuesday. Yeah. Digger is going crazy over a deer up on the side of the hill. Lots of things going on this morning. The boys are being very bucky over there. Lots of stuff to do today, as usual. So, I don't know how much we'll get accomplished. I just realized I still have my headlamp on from doing chores in the dark. So, I'm still tying Esmeralda up while I milk the other girls, because she's such a bully to Pinto Bean while I'm milking Bambi. And it just makes things easier to tie her up after I milk her and until I'm done with everybody else. So, see if that deer's still up there. He's still up there, browsing on the hill, minding his own business. Not doing nothing. Dog is just crazy. He goes nuts every time a deer comes through here. Alrighty. Dishes are done and laundry has started. And we're going to go muck some in the girls' pen because just the ammonia in there is really bad again. It's like I've got to get more space fenced off and get these girls some more room to spread out. I know. Some piece of metal in here and it's stuck way down in there. I can't get that puppy out. I have no idea what it is or why it's in here, but we went and got some help. Oh, holy moly. That thing's probably 3 feet long. I don't know. A leaf spring maybe? I don't know, but that's a deep stinking hole. I gotta fill that in. Oh, I tried to cut it, and you see right there with the sawzall, and that's as far as we got, and the blade was trash. So, yeehaw. Fill in the hole and go on. Lordy, always something. Really? Alrighty. I had to have a sit down and some coffee milk after wrestling that piece of metal. And my next thing is I need to come along from down from there and see if it's still in working order. Probably oil it or grease it or whatever I need to do. But first I need to hang out the load of laundry. Okay, and of course I cannot reach that come along, and I have to go find my big ladder. And off the top of my head I don't even know where it's at. So we're going to go hunt. Well, the good ladder is probably up by the big chicken house or up that direction someplace. This is the crummy ladder, but I think we're gonna use it. It doesn't look too bad. Got a little bit of rusty spots, but not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It's like squirrel every time I go anywhere. I had to stop and water the little plants. They're all doing pretty good. And then I noticed that the Jerusalem artichokes are blooming. So it means that they're getting some big fat roots for us to dig up later. So, it's Wednesday, and of course there's a million things to do, and I realized the refrigerator is getting full of milk, and I should make some cheese, and then I couldn't find my cheese pot here, and then I realized it was still in the refrigerator full of tallow. So we're going to see if we can whack up that hunk of tallow and melt it down again. And get it a little bit cleaner. I think it will be pretty good once I melt it down and strain it again, and then we'll see where we're at. Oh my goodness. The inside of this cake of tallow is pretty clean. It's just the outer edges. So I think what I'm going to do is cut those off and put them with the other batch of tallow that still needs to be cleaned more, and just remelt this inside part, and it ought to be done after that. And yeah, of course I always wondered what I needed a knife this big for, and now I figured it out. I think probably about that much off. Just trying to take off most of the gunky bits. I think I should have strained this the first time, and I didn't. So, lessons learned. Okay. There's almost a gallon of water in the bottom of the pot. I've turned the heat up fairly high so that it will start getting that water hot, and it will start melting the fat, and then I will turn it down while I go do some other stuff. Alrighty, I gotta cut a piece of fence about probably about 34-35 feet long, so I have extra on each end to wrap around the posts so I can start fencing in the space for Bentley to come home. It's upside down. Little holes at the top and big holes at the bottom. It's supposed to be the other way around. Fortunately, it is not fastened in any way except by that little hay string, so we're okay. Okay, so I cut 2 verticals off the end of this. I've seen guys on the internet do this. I've never worked with this woven wire before, so I'm just kind of feeling my way along here. But I've seen them cut the verticals out and then use these long horizontals to wrap around the end post. So that's what I'm going to try. Just wrap those wires loosely around the post. Try to make sure I was in line with the post. Post might not be quite vertical. I did not bring my level up here. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, I have all the horizontals wrapped twice around the post and then hooked on the back on the fence like that. I am not leaving it like that. There is a special little tool that will help me wrap these tails around these horizontals, and I'm going to pick one up here in a little bit when I go to the store. So yeah, but the sun's coming out. Whew. Okay, I cut the other two pieces of fence so they're ready before I rolled that puppy back up the driveway and out of the way. Oh, okay, cooled off from messing with all that fence, and all the tallow was melted. There's some scummy stuff on the top. I think for this round I'm just going to pour that through my metal strainer into this big pot, and then we'll let it cool off. And in a few days, when I get a minute, we will mess with it some more. Whew. I tell ya, I think we were under 100 today, but it was still pretty warm this afternoon. But man, rolling that roll of fence wire up and down the driveway so I could cut those pieces just about did me in this morning. Kind of out of shape. But I did get that one piece is almost ready to stretch, and then the other two pieces that I need are cut. And then I had to go. I needed to make a delivery, but all I was thinking about was what I needed from the feed store. And when I got there, I was like, oh crap, we forgot the customer's order. So, got stuff and came home, got the order, took it back. Oh, and then I was just kind of lazing around most of the afternoon. Just because I was wore out, man. But I'm glad to get that project started back up again so we can get that done. I would really like to have Bentley here in a month so that we can use him to breed Love and Miss Pinobean. And then after that, I will probably sell him since I'm keeping Spots. Because $3 is way too many. So, what are you doing? Don't you kick my bucket. You got a fly? Huh? You have a fly someplace? So anyway, that's the plan at the moment anyway. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. Oh, the Healy County is here. So, after work, I went to the fair, as you can see, and I was able to watch all our 4-H kids showing their dairy goats and see some of my friends and things. And then it was trying to rain and whatnot, and I got home to this. You can see, had a lot of runoff, and we had some wind, some stuff's been knocked down. There's been some flow in the creek bottom here. Let's see what the rain gauge says. Wowza. Let's see. That is 9/10 of an inch. That is the most rain I've had at one time this entire year. That's crazy. It's trying to rain some more. And now it's hailing. Okay, not sure for sure where all of this water is coming from. Creek is running. Yeah, where's all this coming from? Oh, it's coming off the hill. My little ditch up here behind the boys' pen must be full of dirt or washed out. Ay, ay, ay. Oh yeah, there's water running off the hill all over the place. 'Cause we're so dry, the ground couldn't absorb anything. Oh, and the boys' house is getting some water in it, but not too bad. That's just right here on the edge. And they still got a good amount of space. It's nice and dry. Hello, Tino. I know, I was petting other goats. Yes, I was. Yes, I was, out at the fairgrounds. On another new layer. This one's laying blue-green. Got woke up in the middle of the night with thunder and lightning and rain and wind. And on top of the 9/10 we had yesterday evening, that's another 1.2 inches. So wowza. I just wish it would have come down a little slower because we had a lot of runoff. A lot. But I'll take what I can get. This is so funny. That's Esmeralda's. This is Bambi. So they're right about 3 pints each. They didn't like the rain, so they're down from where they usually are. And Miss Penobane is still at 2.5 pints, just like she has been for weeks and weeks now. Didn't bother her a bit. Okay, just checking up here where I want to put Bentley. We do have some runoff from this hill, so I'm going to redig my little ditch here because I don't want a bunch of water running into his pen, and this ground does slope. Nothing I can do about that, but I can at least dig out my little drainage ditch a little bit, I think. Got the little twisty tool, and it's really just a little bar with a flat place and some holes in it. So I'm sure if you had the tools to work metal, you could make your own. But I don't, and I'm not really a metal person. So, but oh yeah, this is working so much nicer and so much easier on my hands than my lineman's pliers. Oh yeah, this is working a treat. Oh, I'm really liking this. Yes, that's making it a lot easier. Cool. Handy little tool, and it made that a lot easier than trying to do that with my lineman's pliers. I only had trouble with that bottom one, I think mostly because it's right there almost on the ground. So if I had more clearance, I think it'd been all better. But now I just gotta find something to hook onto and stretch this piece of fence. We'll see if this will work. It's just a T-post kind of stuck through the wire. So we'll see if that's going to work or not. I don't know. I don't have a real fence stretcher, and I don't really want to spend $80 or $90 to buy one. Alrighty, I found this wad of chain laying around, and I want to see if I can cut a piece of it off, because I need to be able to go around each end of that T-post so I can pull that fence evenly. Well, I got one side of a link cut, but I can't bend it. It's too thick, so I can't bend it to get the piece of chain off. So I'm trying to cut the other side of that link so I can get this done. Always a catch-22 someplace. There, we got it. Awesome. I was hoping one of these would fit through those links, but none of them do. So, I guess maybe I'll just wire loops in it or something. Here's the flow of water. Water comes down off the hill there through that gate, and it comes off the hill up there under that mesquite along behind the goat barn there. And some water did run into the goat barn, and then it comes out there, and then it all comes around that pen. And it made a big puddle here yesterday, and when it rained some more last night, it came actually right up past Digger's pen. Though by this point it was running, so it just kind of filled up this little low spot, and then it ran off, and it goes all the way down my driveway. It was joined by a little bit of water coming off this slope up here and down. You can see how here in the driveway it's washed out all the fine dirt and silt, and all the rocks are poking up again. And there was some hay and some sand here, and it washed all of that out. Then runs all the way down the road. Alrighty, this fence post is probably pushing 100 years old, and it still seems fairly sturdy, though it is starting to rot out a little bit at the base. But I'm going to use that to pull this fence. So I didn't want to cut another piece of chain, so I just brought the whole roll. We're going to wrap it around the post so we can latch the come along to it and stretch this piece of fence. So I just tied a big old knot in it, just like I would if it was a rope, and it seems like it'll hold, so we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna work or not. I can see where some better equipment would make this faster and easier, but I don't have all those things, so we're just getting by like as good as we can. I don't think everything is too long, so I'm going to move that T-post further up in the fence. Trying to be really careful and very cautious. I have been smacked in the leg with a chain binder on a lumber truck one time in a past life long ago, but I'm just looking to see where we're at here. We're not real tight yet. The videos I watched about stretching this fence and this brand of fence, so just take a little bit of this crimp out. Not the whole crimp, because it needs to be able to expand and contract, and that's what those are there for. But you could take a little bit of that crimp out. Just making sure we're not hanging up on rocks or T-posts or anything here. I know that's kind of cattywampus down there and wobbly. There's nothing I can do about that one. Get this rock out of the way. So far, We're not looking too bad. It does look like maybe the top is stretching tighter than the bottom, so we'll go adjust where the come along is on the chain. Let's see if that helps. Alrighty, that's probably as good as I'm getting all by myself and not knowing what I'm doing. So, I mean, if Bentley starts tearing it up, rubbing and pushing on it, I guess I could line it with some pallets to keep him from ruining it. So, alrighty, let's get it tied up. When you buy T-posts, don't forget to ask for your little clippy doos if they didn't offer them, because most places you're going to get a little bag of clippies for every bundle of T-posts that you buy. And these are pretty handy. I did have to look up how to put them on the fence, but I think I got it now. So they're talking about putting the short piece on first, and then putting the big V around the post. We might have too much dirt back there. I don't know. And you're supposed to just take a screwdriver. I don't have a screwdriver up here. I might have to go find one. But I did one a minute ago. It's just that the fence wasn't this tight in that spot. And I was able to just use my pliers. And of course, if your T-post is a little twisted, it might not work. I don't know. Yeah, that worked. The video I watched said put the screwdriver right there and then you can just flip it around the fence. So we'll get some more done, then I'll just come back with my twisty tool and twist all of these around. Alrighty, I'm on my last post here to put clips on, and then what I'll do is release the come along and trim this extra piece and pull it around and wrap it like I did the other end around the post and the wires, because this is going to be the latch post for 2 gates. One gate will go across that way and connect up to an old fence that's on the side of the hill. The other gate will be right here, and it will hinge over on his little house. So, hopefully that will not take me too long, but I want to clip and wrap this one. There we go. Just because it's going to take a lot of strain, because of course goats live on their stomachs. They live for their stomachs. And if I'm coming to the gate with feed, Bentley's going to be climbing on it, and he's going to be climbing on this piece of fence and stuff. So we want to make sure it's real strong. My tree trimmer friend has been emptying his trailer over here, so I'll have more than enough wood for this winter and probably the next couple of winters. This is so awesome. I do need to get a bunch of that carted up here and stacked up, but that's so wonderful and I so appreciate it. Alrighty, these Jerusalem artichokes are blooming like crazy, so that's pretty good. The little mulberry tree is growing like a weed. Couple of little cherry tomatoes, not really doing much over there. A little patch of mint that has managed to survive. Not doing a whole lot, but it's still alive, so that's a plus. what are you doing? You are being so weird. She's been standing there a few minutes doing that, trying to, almost like she's trying to nurse or something. I don't know. She's just being so weird to her sister. Honey, what are you doing? You're being weird. Are you in heat? Is that it? Yeah, there's the foot stomp. I think she's in heat. Yeah, so you in heat? Yeah, you. You are too funny, sister. Yes, you are. You are too funny.